Hey folks, this is Kevin Callahan with Document Mountain, and I hope this message finds you well. Today we're going to be talking about 7 reasons to put your trust in records management for education. And again, look, we know you're forced to retain these records. As a matter of fact, some of them permanently. But what our experience showed us that most schools know what their best practices are for retaining records. Unfortunately, time and time again, we hear things expressed like, I'm appalled at the volume and condition that our records are in. Or, there's no way to know who's accessed these records or what they did with them. Or finally, I want to cry when we receive requests for records. It's simply a nightmare to try and access them. So the default reaction, unfortunately, is to do nothing in these schools. But the question is, why isn't the appropriate response taken? Well, the bottom line is most schools don't have the resources to do what they're supposed to do. They don't have the bandwidth to implement the appropriate alternative. But then they start to realize what FERPA and their state agencies actually give them the flexibility to do. So forgive me, I'm going to read a little bit of what FERPA and the state agencies actually tell you what you can do. So from FERPA, educational institutions may disclose educational records to outside contractors without prior written student consent if the outside contractor is a party acting for the institution and is performing a service which the institution would have to otherwise perform itself. So this is the maintaining of your records. This is digitizing your records. You can have people do this so you don't have to use your bandwidth. It goes on to say this flexibility gives any officer being charged with the duty to preserve any record may, whenever any such officer deem it necessary for the purpose of recording or copying the same, preserving and protecting the same, reducing space requirements for storage or filing of the same, or any similar purpose, have or cause to have all such records copied by electronic processes which correctly and accurately copies the original record. Any officer may have or cause to have records copied by any optical imaging process that correctly and accurately copies the original record. All copies, recreations, or reproductions shall have the same force and effect at law as the original record. So what did that basically say? That basically says if it's taking up too much space or you can't access the records appropriately, you can digitize your records. The federal government and the state governments give you the right to do that as long as the process goes through and correctly and accurately copies the original. Once you do that, it's got the same effect in the court of law as the original does. Think of it this way. Facsimiles have been legalized or a legal document for years. So as schools go through and they understand this, then they turn to Document Mountain and they put their trust in them because we contractually say this, that we will perform certain actions committing to abide by the terms of this agreement, FERPA and HIPAA, further agreeing that all employees, agents, contractors, subcontractors shall hold confident all information entrusted by educational systems to using best efforts at all times to adopt and follow procedures, practices to protect the confidentiality of the information that is provided to us, preventing its disclosure to all others without express written consent to the clients. So the bottom line is once schools agree to work with Document Mountain, they feel extremely confident that there's a chain of custody put in place for the inventory, the prepping, and the scanning and indexing of their records. As a matter of fact, one school said it the best. He says, I opened up my doors for the specialists at Document Mountain. The next thing I knew that all of my records were at my fingertips. All this freedom, all of this freeing up of your bandwidth is done within the framework of an ISO 9001, HIPAA compliant, SAS 70 and SSAE 16 certified secure environment for Document Mountain. The bottom line is it's extremely secure. Again, we know you're forced to retain these records. We simply help you do it by putting the trust in that there's a better way on how to do that. Want to learn how? Simply click on the link below for the infographic. God bless. Have a great day.